Taxes. Everyone knows the word. Very few people know the mechanism. Even fewer want to know the mechanism. But here we are. Let's do this. Imagine you earn money in the United States. It doesn't matter if it's from a job, freelancing, a side hustle, selling your old Beanie Baby collection on eBay. Yes, even that. The moment money is considered income, taxes enter the room. Not politely, not with a knock. They just materialize, like a distant relative at Thanksgiving who heard you got a promotion. When you get paid, the number you agreed to is not the number you receive. That first number, that's called gross income. It's called gross because when you see what's left after taxes, you'll think, yeah, that's gross. The number that actually hits your bank account is net income. That one is real. The difference between the two is taxes. It's like ordering a pizza for $20 and then 7 different entities show up asking for slices before you even open the box.
Let's break down what's being taken. First, federal income tax. This is based on how much you earn in a year. The more you earn, the higher the percentage that applies to portions of your income. Not all your income is taxed at the same rate. It's layered, like an onion or a Shrek, or your feelings about Shrek. Think of it like stairs, not a cliff. You don't go from 12% tax to 22% tax on everything just because you got a raise. Only the income above a certain threshold gets taxed at the higher rate. So when your uncle says, "I don't want a raise, it'll put me in a higher tax bracket," your uncle doesn't understand stairs.
State income tax. This depends entirely on where you live. Some states take it, some don't. Same country, wildly different vibes. If you live in California, New York, or New Jersey, yeah, they want a piece. If you live in Texas, Florida, or Nevada, the state looks at your paycheck and says, nah, we're good. It's the same reason some people pay $3,000 a month for a studio apartment and others pay that for a 4-bedroom house with a yard. Geography is chaos. But here's where it gets interesting. States without income tax still need money. They just get it from you differently. Texas has no income tax, but it has some of the highest property taxes in the country. You're not paying when you earn, you're paying when you own. Florida? No income tax, but higher sales taxes and insurance costs that'll make you weep, especially if you live near the coast. Tennessee? No income tax, but they'll tax your investment income. Surprise! The point is, no state is just letting you keep all your money out of kindness. They've just chosen different extraction methods. It's like going to a restaurant where one place charges for the meal and another gives you a free meal but charges $8 for water. You're paying either way. The bill just looks different. And here's the kicker. What you get for those taxes varies wildly. California has high taxes but also has extensive public university systems, better funded public schools in many areas, more robust social programs, protections for workers and renters. Texas has low taxes, but public schools are funded primarily through property taxes, which creates massive inequality between rich and poor districts, limited social safety nets, fewer worker protections, and you're more on your own if things go wrong. Neither system is perfect, but if you're gonna pay taxes, and you are, it's worth knowing what you're actually getting for them. Some people prefer, keep my taxes low, I'll handle my own stuff. Others prefer, take a bit more, but give me better schools, roads, and services. Both are valid, but you should know which system you're actually living in. Because a lot of people think they're in the first one and then get mad when the second one's services aren't available. Then come the taxes that don't feel optional. Social Security and Medicare. These are fixed percentages of your earned income. They're not negotiated. They don't change based on your lifestyle. They don't care if you're saving for a house or if you just spent $200 on a weighted blanket because TikTok said it would fix your life. If you earn income, they apply. Social Security is theoretically for your future. You're basically paying your 67-year-old self in advance. Will that money actually be there when you retire? Great question. Genuinely no idea. Moving on.
So when people say I make $75,000 a year, what they usually mean is, that was the number before several systems took their share and left me with $54,000 and a general sense of betrayal. The next one, sales tax. Taxes don't stop with earning. They also apply when you spend. Sales tax is added at checkout, not on the shelf, not in the ad. You see it at the very last second, right before you pay. It's like going to a restaurant, ordering a $10 burger, and then the waiter brings you a bill for $10.83, and you're like, who is this 83 cents for? The answer? The state, the county, sometimes the city. That gap between the listed price and the final total, that's sales tax. You could literally drive 15 minutes and save 2%. Is it worth it? No. Will some people do it anyway? Absolutely. At the end of the year, taxes are reviewed. This is where tax filing comes in. This is where you compare what you earned, what was withheld, what actually applies to your situation. If too much was taken, refund. If too little was taken, balance due. That's the entire equation. A refund is not free money. It's money that was already yours, held hostage for several months, and then returned without interest. It's like lending your friend $20 in January and getting it back in April with no thank you text. A balance due isn't a punishment. It just means not enough was withheld during the year. You essentially gave yourself an interest-free loan from the government, which sounds cool until you realize you now owe them money and they're way less forgiving than your friend. Taxes also apply to money you don't earn directly. For example, capital gains tax. If you buy stock for $100 and sell it for $150, that $50 increase? Taxed. It doesn't matter that the money came from growth or smart investing or holding GameStop during the chaos of 2021. It's still income. The system doesn't care how money appears, only that it did. Money is money. The IRS is the guy at the party who smells pizza from 3 rooms away. Once you separate taxes into categories, income, payroll, spending, investment, they stop feeling random. They become mechanical, not friendly, not hostile, just structured. Like a vending machine that takes more coins than you expected, but still gives you the snack. Eventually, here's the big picture takeaway. Taxes aren't just about how much you pay. They're about what you get in return, and that varies dramatically depending on where you live. Some countries tax you heavily and give you healthcare, education, childcare, and transit in return. The deal is, we'll take half, but we'll handle the big stuff. Other countries, like the US, tax you less up front, but leave you to pay for most of those things yourself. The deal is, keep more of your paycheck, but you're on your own for the expensive parts of life. In high-tax countries, your paycheck is smaller, but your cost of living is more predictable. You're not getting surprise $5,000 medical bills, you're not paying $1,200 per month for health insurance, you're not taking out 6-figure loans for college. In lower tax countries like the US, your paycheck is bigger, but you're also paying for health insurance, college tuition, childcare, car ownership. So when people say I'd never want to pay 50% in taxes, what they often mean is I don't realize I'm already spending 40% of my income on things that tax money covers in other countries. It's not about which system is better. It's about knowing which game you're playing and planning accordingly. Because if you're expecting Nordic-level social services while living in a low-tax state, you're going to be disappointed. And if you're mad about high taxes, but also mad that the roads suck and the schools are underfunded, well, again, the math doesn't math. You can't have it both ways. Well, you can, but only if you're very rich, which, let's be honest, most of us are not. This video isn't about liking taxes or agreeing with them. It's about understanding the system you're already inside. Because in finance, clarity is leverage. And because if one more person says tax bracket wrong at a family dinner, I'm gonna lose it. If this helped it click, even a little, follow for more personal finance explanations designed to make sense to an intelligent 12-year-old without insulting the adult you actually are.
So go ahead, subscribe and like this video, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything.